Alright, something real simple here, but is really annoying when they don't work, is these door catches. This right here has a spring on it, and it's got a pivot point right here, and it's supposed to pivot back and forth. There's a little tiny roller right there on the hinge that slides back and forth on that, and it's supposed to catch right there. And this door is catching, but that's really not moving. This spring's supposed to pull that back and keep it in place. And the passenger door, this thing was completely frozen, probably from lack of use, because the door, passenger just never gets opened hardly. And then this truck has been sitting for the last couple of years, so it was frozen, forward. And the real simple fix was to, one, get a wire brush and clean that all out right there, get all that grime away from the pivot point. Clean it up. You don't want any of that grime in between the surfaces there if you can help it. When I first used WD-40, got it all up in there. And basically just hit all the parts that are supposed to be moving. And then with the door all the way open, I just stick a little hammer and I start tapping it. Doesn't take much at all, just little taps. And now that is pushed all the way back against that roller that it's supposed to be against. And then you just, close the door. So that pushed it back, but now you see it didn't go back to where it's supposed to. It's still stuck. So just and you can hear when it hits solid, you don't need to keep banging on it. And then I just sat there and scrubbed it again. Try to get that WD-40 and the grime out of those pivot points. And get the grime out, but work the WD-40 in, and then hit it again. As long as your spring isn't broken. I've had ones where they don't work because the spring is broken and stuff. So, but with that thing gummed up, the door actually is really hard to close. Just repeat, and I can show you the passenger door. I did get it working. Just keep doing that until this thing finally breaks free. Basically, it's all crudted with rust in between that pivot point there. You got to get that WD-40 in between it. The wind kept blowing that passenger door shut on me, so I'd be working, and the next thing I know, it's shut or slammed against me. It was really windy here the other day, and it was getting extremely annoying, but I was so focused on what I was doing, I wasn't paying attention to the fact that, it was probably it was a really simple fix. It's starting to want to go back with the hammer pretty easy, but just not by itself yet. So hit it again. tell that it's almost wanting to go back on its own. Just takes a little bit of a tap from the hammer. Just hasn't broken free yet. Alright, so I had to kind of sit there and do that over and over, where I just pulled the door forward, pushed it back, and then tap that with the hammer. And you know, it's just tapping it back each time. And now you can see just ever so slightly that it comes forward and then it falls back. So now that catch is working. You can see it move just a little bit. That's all it's supposed to move, just a little bit, but it falls back into that space now. See, it still needs a little bit more work, but it's starting to fall back into that spot. So get some white lithium in there and lube up that point and that point, and hopefully that will start to break free the more I open and close the door and stuff. But get a whole good bunch of gob in there for now. Open and close the door a bunch more, and that thing will, you know, it's already doing a ton better than it was. I mean, it's actually moving now, where before it wasn't even moving. So just getting to fall back that last little bit. But it's still, you know, it's completely catching the door. It doesn't want to let the door go past that point very easily. So, I mean, this one was working a little bit, but it's got to get that last little bit. But, yeah, I mean, relatively simple fix for a really annoying problem when, you know, your door keeps swinging back on you all the time and stuff like that. As long as your spring is still intact down there, you know, you can get that working again. But try to, you know, if you got a door that won't stay open, make sure that is actually doing what it's supposed to do. And here's the passenger side now. So you can see that little moves out, door goes all the way open, that clicks back. Now the door doesn't want to get past that point very easily, so it take a lot stronger wind to blow this door closed on me now, because that little catch is now coming back in where it should be. And it doesn't move very much. I mean, it's only, you know, 1/4 of an inch at max that all that thing does. And you got to make sure your little roller on the thing is working as well. That will, if that freezes up, it won't be a very smooth, it'll squeak and grind and not be a very smooth door. But yeah, if your door's catch isn't working anymore, just try that out. Obviously, like I said, make sure your spring's still intact, because if your spring's broken, then it won't matter at all if this is working or not, because that spring has to pull it back.